What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action in the top of the map, playing as Uranus. Uranus the Great, Uranus the Wise, Uranus the Recon, as it is Tag's very own Toucan playing for us here with the Uranus. His opponent today is none other than the frightening, absolutely terrifyingly highly skilled man that is the man with many names. It's Keto, Jody, Severo Jones, Bones. And yes, we're on the map Megalopolis, and off to the races we go. So yeah, we've been seeing a little bit of Uranus lately, and I've been watching people playing and trying to figure out what the right way is to play Uranus, because I think he's a pretty, I would argue that he's a little bit of a one-dimensional god. This is me talking straight up. He is a bit of a one-dimensional god. There's not a whole lot of different strategies you can do. There are some really, really bad maps for Uranus that you really don't want to pick Uranus on. And that's pretty much the shtick. If you find yourself on a map that is really good on, you're going to have some really, really good games. Megalopolis oftentimes can be a map that Uranus is quite strong on. But yeah, if you get yourself into the wrong map, then you can definitely find yourself having some tricky games against them. So we'll see what Recon's been cooking up. You guys been talking to me a little bit about some new sort of Uranus ideas that he's got. But when you get into the crux of the whole thing, I do think you've got one way, basically. Unless there's something else, and unless this works for Recon, we'll have to wait and see. I'm excited to see what he's going to pull out, but maybe he's just playing the right way. He's just finally cooked up the right way to play Uranus. I don't know, or what I think the right way is. But we'll see what his plan is. As we've already got Keto doing some very fancy early game shenanigans. Already getting himself a hand axe and pickaxe super early. These sorts of builds are really, really fun. You can do them very, very quickly when you don't have to drop a granary. You can lure those hippos under your town center. But Keto's probably going to find himself in the classical age at like 4 minutes and 30 seconds or something. Against Uranus, it's not that big of a deal to advance super late. Why? Well, he's not Kronos. He's not going to be able to send 2 Prometheans into your base at 3:30. So you don't have too much to worry about. Now, we are seeing Recon going for Prometheus here, which I don't think this is the correct play against Zeus. I think you need Oceanus with the Momillos, because you have to deal with hoplites and stuff like that. And you also want to deal with Hippias or cavalry as well, where you're going to need catapultes. And those infantry units, I think, in this specific matchup, some matchups I think Prometheus is really, really good. But against Zeus right now, I'm not exactly sure, especially when the Zeus player has access to Hermes. Wow. Okay, here's the idea from Recon. A little cheekiness from him. Sky patches on both the town centers. He doesn't need to build these quite so close to the settlement, but this is going to completely give away that he's doing this, and it's a huge, huge hit. A huge, huge hit to his early game to do this, because 2 citizens walking all the way across the map to drop these sky passages, man, this is going to be tough. Nonetheless, we've already got a very early survival equipment to come through here. Maybe the idea is going to be some sort of a villager rush to deny the town centers from going up, but as you can see over here, for Keto, no, he is going for a town center. So this is as exactly what Keto wants as it gets, but what Recon wants as it gets. But Keto's dropping a military academy, and he says, "Hey, I see your sky passage. I built a Pegasus. It's not going to work. I'm literally watching you do this right now." As the sky passage over here up does grab himself the Cathara of Apollo here. Still no buildings dropped for Recon just yet. This is as hilarious as it gets. I'm a big fan. We'll see as the army now going to start massing up here. It's going to be somewhat of a one town center game. It looks to me like Keto hasn't really scouted what's happening here, which is a big, big problem for him. Promethean on this side as well. He basically knows that that Keto's on one town center here. But where to next is the question, as the villagers moving to the right-hand corner of the map here. You're going to attempt to put this town center up, and now Keto is going to drop everyone in, and he's going to start shaking down the town center to deny it, and he's going to pop back into the sky passage. Oh. All right, Keto. All right. I see you. I see you. He's got survival equipment, so these citizens are packing a punch, but what's he doing with the rest of the resources? What is he doing with the rest of the resources? He pops back out, shanking a little bit more. Is this doing more damage than it's dealing? I don't know. As the sky passage is going to get repaired back up, he has to continue to do this, and this is just not like... Is Keto's going to be completely fine to just keep building units? No. He chucks down a village center inside of his main base and says, hey, if you're going to just sit out there and just deny that, that's fine. If you're going to waste all this time with those citizens shanking away, that's fine. And we'll see what happens next. There is going to be access to some valors here, so he can just continue to heal the back. But he's just losing out on so many resources. That being said, he's going to be able to drop himself a town center at some point. He's grabbing this one on the front. The Pegasus spots it, but Keto says, well, let's try and deal with what's happening over here first and foremost. As the Minotaur goes down, a hoplite goes down, the Heracles and Jason retreating away. I'm enjoying this way, way, way too much. Look, is this a good play? You be the judge. You be the judge. Is this a good play? I don't know. Keto needs a little bit of wood here to get himself that next citizen out. Does manage to get it in just in time. Still doesn't have a military building down just yet. Considering how well positioned this is, and considering there's no resources left in the main base, I would have loved to see, instead of the town center going up here, some military units on the front here. I mean, you probably don't even need to. You can just drop the military buildings in your main base and start spamming into the sky passage, popping out and harassing into the main base. But now Keto's going to have himself the village center versus a second town center. He's going to be eating through all these goats immediately. And I don't think that Recon is going to be able to contain Keto moving forward here. This is the problem, right? You have to be able to contain... the Zeus player when they're on this two town center idea. And if you're going for everything else, it's going to be very, very tricky, as the villagers attempting to keep this sky passage alive. A couple of Prometheans to come through, but they're attacking the wrong unit here. Where is that all-important Cairo Ballista as the citizens continue to shake? I just can't with this. It's just so silly. All right. Sky passage goes down. Now Keto can make his way out onto the right-hand corner of the map. If Recon wants to get over there and get some pressure on, he's going to have to come over onto here and drop a sky passage to deny these giraffe or something like that. Military Academy coming down as well. The other problem here is now that there's going to be a huge amount of hoplites to just walk forward and start harassing the town center. But Recon does have himself Cairo Ballista, and these things can be really, really powerful to defend here. They've got a nice little garrison technique to jump into this sky passage and jump out. Recon could build himself a second sky passage as well on this position, such that if one sky passage goes down, he can continue doing the shenanigans. But nonetheless, now we've got medium infantry coming through, Aegis shield as well, so he can tank up against the town center, and the hoplites, Toxotes, going to be on their way forward here. Medium infantry comes in. Sky passage on the back here to grab this giraffe here. We've also got the Tearfing Angantier's sword, which is going to really help out those Cairo Ballista. Villages as well coming through. There's no access to a sky passage at the moment, as the Prometheans getting the big damage done. One Cairo Ballista gets taken out with the bolt there as the villagers coming through. Restoration to come in, and Recon has to bail here. He cannot stay. The villagers trying to kill off a couple of citizens on the retreat here. And they do manage to snipe one as the other. Oh, he gets two here as well as Recon citizen doesn't get through there. And now he's going to take the town center. This town center is not even that good, but he's going to go for it nonetheless. As now Keto, he's going to be all over the map with these hoplites. Where to next for Recon? Losing that town center. He's going to go to the next stage. He says, all right, let's go heroic age. Call it. Wait, he doesn't have an armory. He's got so many resources. What is he doing? What is he doing? He's got so many resources. The sky passage over here gets cleaned up. The hoplites living the dream. It's a matter of principle to take that town center. Oh god, this game is just pure hilarity. Okay, we've got a couple more Caraballister over here coming in to try and deal with all of those hoplites. Now, it's really important when building Caraballister to have some sort of a front line. That's the most important thing. Now, we do have a couple of Prometheans here, but the military barracks to build out some Murmillos, probably what he's going to be needing. But now, Keto's on 3 town centers. Keto's got map control. Recon's, whatever you want to call that strategy, has effectively failed here. And the game continues along, and we'll see if Recon can somehow pull this one back from the brink here. We'll see. But Hyperion on the way. So we'll get access to Satyr. Satyrs can be very good against those hoplites, even though the hoplites have got that 28% pierce armor with Aegis shield. Walls coming up all across the map now. And the way that Keto plays Age of Mythology, this is a way which it makes it really hard for Oranos to kind of do what Oranos needs to do to win games. And it's just playing fundamentally, and a great little ungarrison there. That's a huge amount of damage there. I almost wish that Recon waited a little bit on it, pulled the citizens back until the hoplites were maybe chasing them even further, and then popped out. But nonetheless, get some damage. The hoplites do manage to escape with their dignity intact. But now I imagine the next stage here for Keto is just get Heroic Age, get Peltast, and say nighty-night to those Caraballister. However, there is going to be access to Chaos. Now, there's not enough favor income at the moment for Recon to get multiple Chaoses off, so he does need to start building those out. But he's at least got one, and that's going to be enough to hit those Peltas, potentially take them all out, and have a good little time there as the villager gets sniped down, building up that wall. But you can see 64 citizens to 75 villagers, so a hefty lead right now for Keto. But Recon's army is starting to look very scary. 76 to 49. Keto obviously feeling pretty safe here behind his town center with his nice wall over here. There is room for some dock shenanigans here on this position, but I mean, Recon, he knows that this is here, but he's got nothing over there. That's the tricky part. If he got a dock up here earlier or hidden dock somewhere, then maybe he could get the transport ship shenanigans over onto this spot. Maybe if he had the sky passage and didn't lose it on this spot, if that didn't get spotted, he could probably make that happen. He could be onto the gold mine, getting some pressure in, but it's just a really nice nice position there. I mean, alternatively, he could just come over and bash the wall down and then come through here. That's another option. But nonetheless, Recon trying to make his way in, and Keto did go through Dionysus here as well. Now, a really tricky way to play this for Oranos is while you're putting pressure on, you know that there's going to be a bronze coming. So just sneak forward with a citizen and put a forward sky passage up. That's your retreat point. Your opponent clicks bronze, we run through the sky passage, say bye-bye, no bronze problems for us, and you lose the sky passage. They get some tempo back, but the bronze is gone. Then you can return back after the bronze is finished and continue your onslaught of pain, so to speak. But at this point, Keto, 2 town centers with a village center, nearly 100 villages. Recon getting his own town center up over here, starting to get a 3rd town center as well. And if he can sniff out the gold mine up here, obviously this one, I probably wouldn't check it out either. I'd expect all the villages to be over here. Recon does know that there's a town center or a village center here, so he might be able to use some of that knowledge to say, oh, he went village center, so he's on 3 town centers. So he's got a ton of villages, right? He might be able to sniff that out, right? Which means he's not like Keto is not going to be able to fit all of his villages onto one gold mine. So he might be up here. But nonetheless, a wall to come down. More walls coming up over here. Is the army going to swing around and catch Recon out? Now, Recon does have those... No, he doesn't have the upgrade for his Murmillo. They're not speedy enough here to escape the hoplites. The hoplites have got 4.9 speed. As Recon is desperately trying to get himself through here, but all the villagers are burying the wood wall. He can't break through. It's going to be close here. There he goes. He does get in. The villagers are going to try and push through those. Murmillo. Recon says, not today, Sonny Jim, as he continues to get this damage done. Meanwhile, over onto this side, these units just sitting idly by, trying to distract Keto in onto this spot. Keto very, very quick to react onto that one. Is the Murmillo coming up here to try and fight their way out. There's another little point for another wall block here, as a couple of Murmillo trying to distract away, but screwed up these days, but Keto doesn't fall for it. Chaos gets dropped down with the bronze. Little bits of damage to come in. It looks like the damage is coming through here. There's not that many units. There's a handful of Peltash, which is going to do a huge amount of damage, but looks like Recon kind of gets it done here, but he has to pull back after all is said and done. 3-headed Hydra as well. The Murmillos do manage to escape, or at least a couple of them do, but Keto has got a big advantage now cooking. He's going to be going up to Hephaestus when he gets the resources. His bronze is done. There are 5 oracles out now, so there's going to be enough for another chaos. And we'll see if Recon can make that happen. But full population to come, full spend on all the resources, try to get to what would probably be 260 population. The villagers are now coming down onto this side as the Murmillo is over here. There is a cheeky little sky passage in this corner, and will we see the units making their way over fast enough or not? It looks like he can't make that split happen, as those 2 Hydra proving to be too much. Could be room for a hero catapulti here, as the Murmillo going to say, well, we're just going to bail on this spot. Does manage to snipe 1 Hydra here, as the Peltas getting some serious damage done. The town center on this side going up. I mean, Shockwave is an idea, I guess. Restoration to come through here from Keto. He is attacking up onto this position, as well as some hero units getting converted over here to try and deal with the Hydra. As the town center on this side still staying alive. There are still more Valors to use. It's definitely worth it to use Valor, I would say, up until about 10-ish favor. After that, it's starting to become too much favor and better to spend that favor elsewhere. But Keto has not managed to break through anything just yet, but he has managed to get himself to 3 town centers, which is what he needs in this on this sort of a map. That's what he needs on this sort of a map. The difference between 4 to 2 town center and 4 to 3 town center is a absolutely gigantic difference. As the Murmillo breaking through ever so slightly on the front here. There are units up onto the top dealing with some Toxotes here, as the Contarius starting to come through as well. But the army for Recon, he's now getting himself heavy cavalry. The army for Recon just not enough here, it seems. He's got to pull back. He's got to get himself a little bit more. Doesn't have those god powers up just yet. Almost has enough for this next chaos. So if he can get a good fight coming next here, maybe you can make something happen. But the fact of the matter is, Keto is just everywhere on the map. Gold mine. Has this position. Has the fortress coming up. Going to be able to take down this palace with the Petropolis. All that stuff. He's taking out the Petropolis in the middle here. Contarius coming in onto the back. Chaos onto the entirety of the army is not necessarily your best usage of this god power, but nonetheless does drop it down there, as the Arc is getting some big damage done onto the front. Contarius onto the back, sniping down a couple of Toxotes there, but the Hoplites are doing a good job of getting good damage done. And it does look like, after all is said and done, the fight slightly favoring Keto here. No, it's favoring Recon. Keto's population is dropping dramatically, but in the end here, for some reason, is it just the resources? No, there's plenty of economy for Recon. He's just retreating back. I think he might have just mismacroed there a little bit. As we've also got Hephaestus coming through for Keto. It's now the fortress up. And we do have the cheeky Contarius raid. He did see this ages ago, but hasn't managed to get over here. And now finally does. It's going to be some significant damage onto these 72 HP villagers. Does he have Pygmalion's stats? No, he's got Dionysia. I forget that one is all units. Now the villagers will make a bail for it, a run for it. Oop, there's no... The wall is not set up, and this could be a bit of a nightmare for Keto. No, he's going to do the old, just put a wall up in your face and that's going to be fine technique. Loses a couple more villagers, but that is all good there. Meanwhile, over onto this side, the Metropolis goes down. Recon charging in, taking out some villagers. There's the fortress over here. Getting taken out. The villagers going down. Nice little attack from Recon, but he's still got a huge mountain to climb to pull himself back into this game. And plus, with Hephaestus about to pop, this means now now the Uranus has to deal with full iron army, which is a lot, right? That's going to be almost instant. There are full copper armory upgrades there, but nonetheless. Villagers going down over here. As the Colossus pops out, Plenty Vault goes down. Nice micro from Keto to push those Arcus back over here. Gets himself the immediate Bellerophon out. Armory upgrades now all coming in, and they're coming in so quick. It's like 20 seconds a piece. He doesn't have any more armories though, and you can see here Recon able to break through this army on the front. Double fortress here though. It's going to be really, really hard to actually win this fight. Now with the reinforcements, however, coming through for Keto, those hoplites are going to be brutal. Still no heavy Arcus here for Recon just yet. Going to make it very, very tricky to take out those hoplites. And also with the Bellerophon in, this super unit is such a monster. As Quarry, Carpenters, all the heroes to come out. Keto kind of knows he can just sit back here. This is sort of the game plan against Uranus. When you find the advantage, you just kind of sit back and just allow your upgrades and everything else to bring you back into it. That's the sort of counter, so to speak, to playing against Uranus. Whenever the Uranus player loses that ability to make things happen, life gets very, very tricky. And Keto's doing a fantastic job of just denying everything. There is still one more chaos left. A potential shockwave behind that as well. As the Contarius to pull back. And Recon versus these nearly fully upgraded hoplites. Actually, they are fully upgraded. They just need champion. Those aren't going to be easy to kill anymore. Recon trying to find some angles to attack here. This is the only gold mine right now that Keto's got. So there is a world where just pressure onto this, and winning one big fight here could be a angle for victory here for Recon. But the problem is population, economy. He's got so many resources here. Maybe fully heroized Arcus or something at this point to take out all the units a little bit better and have a little bit more speed on the Arcus to dodge out of range of the Peltast. As somewhat of an idea. The market on the top corner here getting taken down. Champion upgrades do come through. And all of a sudden, Keto's grip on this game becomes incredibly firm, and I'm not sure what else Recon can do. And the Hoplite Rage just motoring around the map. Too much stuff. All these Contarias are just not going to be able to help out in the slightest versus all of these hoplites. Just raids everywhere. We see a couple of units that pop out to try and hold on this position. Is that a second Plenty Vault? Hello there, second Plenty Vault. Oof. Nonetheless, Palace coming up, and in that moment, Recon says, all right, the game is done. Absolutely hilarious strategy here from Recon. I think is just having fun at the moment. I do wonder, I know I don't wonder, I'm almost 100% certain that if Recon did this, but instead of going for the town center, just went for units and stayed one town center here, he would have been in an amazing position. An absolutely amazing position. Reason being is village center on a map like this, I don't think that the Zeus player is getting out of his base versus Carabalist and Murmillo Prometheans. It's just not going to happen. The gold mine over here is not going to be able to kill off the Sky Passage ever on this spot because you can just pop through. You've got full gold control. The gold mine was on the back of the base here, so it was a little bit impossible to attack this, so to speak, but the chickens were on the front to harass a little bit in the early game to even slow Keto down. There's some really, really interesting one town center options, but grabbing this 4 town center and trying to make that work, that was a bold attempt from Recon. A lot of fun, but a little bit too crazy. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next game.